Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My people, my people. Welcome back. Welcome back to another video, another fight preview video. So today we're going to be looking at Filip Hrgovic against Joe Joyce from Manchester at the Co-op Live. It's going down this weekend, April 5th. We're going to tap into that. But before we get started, we are powered by DNS Cleaning, of course. The best. You know what I'm saying? The best. So if you're in the 757 Hampton Roads area and you need a cleaning crew, those are the people that you want. Vacation homes, Airbnbs, work buildings, workspaces. If you're a realtor and you have, properties, they cover all that. They got you covered with all that. So feel free to tap in with me if you need their information or look them up yourselves. DNS Cleaning Services LLC. They're on Instagram. So you'll be able to look them up yourself and kind of scan their page and reach out to them if you like. And, feel free to contact them and you guys can discuss business. And we also have sponsorship opportunities. Also, you see our email, yourboxingfix@gmail.com. Tap in with us so that way we can talk business. We can talk business and have your logos anywhere on these videos. So let us know. But as I said in the beginning of the video, y'all, let's get down to it. We got Joe Joyce against Filip Hrgovic. All right. So we got two guys that are in a situation where they both need a win. And we're gonna talk about why, right? Let's break this thing down, right? All right, so we got one side. We got Joe Joyce, right? Last time we seen Joe Joyce, he unfortunately had that unanimous decision loss to Derek Chisora. Now, I'm not going to say, unfortunately, because it's good for Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora is putting himself in a situation to fight for a world title in his 50th fight and could very well retire after that. He going to go out like a true G, and there's no better way to go out, win or lose. If he wins, that's even better. If he wins the world title, that's even better. But, as a true G, there's no better way to go out than fight for a world title. So we got to put some respect on Derek Chisora's name. But to kind of pivot back and talk about Joe Joyce, that's what happened. That's what happened. He lost to Derek Chisora. Now, before that, he had him a nice little KO win. But I think the problem that we run into is those two right before that, because he fought Big Bang Zhang twice. Zhang beat him both times. And I think from that moment on, I think the trajectory of Joe Joyce's career started to change, because if we go back even before that, I'm telling y'all, boy, know his boxing. That's why y'all come here. Before those fights, he beat Joseph Parker. So you want to talk about a confusing situation? Joseph Parker is one of the best heavyweights in the world right now. So he stopped Joseph Parker and then lost to the two to Zhang. And then so it's like a confusing situation. You look at it, you're like, what? But that's where we at with this thing. So that's where Joe Joyce sits right now. So he's on the cusp of needing something major. He needs a major win right now. We're talking 39 years old. So in boxing, that's pretty old if we're talking about boxing terms. So this is definitely a must win for Joe Joyce. Now, something that works at his advantage. It was supposed to be Joe Joyce versus Dillian Whyte, but Dillian Whyte unfortunately had to withdraw due to an injury, so you insert Filip Hrgovic into the situation. So we don't know, though, if Hrgovic had the full camp. So we always talk about that, yo. Y'all done seen enough of these videos with the late replacements that you always hear me talk about how long was the training camp? Like, did he get a full one? Was he still working, or was it one of those that he was just chilling, trying to unwind with his kids, and then he got a call, hey, we need you to fight Joe Joyce in a couple weeks. Oh, let me hop off, and then let me get to work. Was it one of those? So we don't know. But this is, as far as Joe Joyce is concerned, though, I think we've hammered the idea and how important it is for him to win this fight. Like we said, with his age, coming off those, being 1-3, his last 4 fights. You gotta have a bounce back fight, because this might be his last sprint towards fighting significant opponents or maybe even locking down a world title shot himself. We're still talking about Joe Joyce. So that's even more reason why. So we're talking about age, world title opportunities, age, world title opportunities, and the last couple fights. There we go. I was holding up 3 fingers and only gave y'all 2 things, but there's my third one right there. So those 3 things right there, y'all, are why this matchup is so important for someone like Joe Joyce. So if we're gonna pivot, opponent, Filip Hrgovic. Last time we seen Filip Hrgovic was against Daniel Dubois. Now we can't hold that too much against Hrgovic. Now let's be real with ourselves. Dubois is a world champion. So we're gonna sit here and say and act like losing to a world champion is a bad thing. No, it's not. That's Hrgovic's only loss, to be honest with you. So he is coming off that loss to Daniel Dubois. So he's maybe trying to get on the path, like we said about Joe Joyce, trying to carve out a path to get to another world title shot. And for Hrgovic, Joyce is someone that he's going to have to go through. Now, Hrgovic is the younger fighter, so that works in his favor. Now, also, if we're going to talk about speed-wise, if you ask a lot of fans, if you look at Joe Joyce, right, and you compare him to other heavyweights, one word that you commonly hear is slow as far as his movements. They say, he's slow as far as, he's just in the ring. They just say he's not very fast. This is the best way to put it. I'm trying to figure out another way to put it, but they just say he's not fast compared to the other heavyweights. So that's something we got to take in consideration too, because who lands first? Because if Hrgovic can land first, he can get he can get Joe Joyce up out of there. So that the speed, that plays a factor too, especially when we talk about heavyweights, because y'all already know in the heavyweight division, one punch can change everything. So, but looking at the whole spectrum, considering that Hrgovic is unfortunately coming off a loss, it is to Daniel Dubois, like I said, but this is a point where he wants to say, okay, I need what's the term we use? Get back right situation. So this is a get back right situation for Hrgovic. He needs to win this fight, though. Like I said, they both need to win this fight. So this is going to be huge for whoever doesn't, and this is going to be, a step in the direction for the person that does. So either way, this is going to be an important fight. We're definitely going to be tapped in, of course. Now, if you're in the U.S., of course, it's on DAZN. Queensberry's been on DAZN in the U.S. for a hot little minute now, so you already know the vibes. It's the same, same network when we're dealing with Queensberry. Now, all my brothers in the U.K. Now, if I'm not mistaken, y'all had Queensberry that was on Sky Sports for a while. Correct me if I'm wrong. Leave comments, because clearly I'm in the U.S. and I try to do everything I can to make sure I have accurate information when it comes to U.K. boxing as well, and sometimes I may slip up, but if I'm not mistaken, it was on Sky Sports, and this is Queensberry's first card on DAZN in the UK as well. So this is gonna be a big night for Queensberry. I expect a lot of action. Good main event, good co-main event. David Adelaide against Jamie TKV. They had them a little mix up. If you're able to check out Queensberry's Instagram page, they had a little little exchange of words. It's always fun when we're talking about boxing. But yeah, like I said, that card is going to be a good card. And just all of April 5th as a whole is going to be filled with boxing. From this fight to Tim Tszyu versus Joey Spencer. We even got Janabek that's going to be in action. We got Guido Villanello versus Richard Torres. All this is going to be April 5th. So y'all know we're going to be dropping the videos, breaking down each fight. Make sure y'all pivot back. And make sure y'all watch the reaction videos so that way we break all this stuff down and talk about what we saw and what's next for everybody. And if you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That's how we feed the family. So and if you have already, thank you so much. I appreciate you all so very much. Y'all will see me again. Just click another video. Y'all can see your boy as often as you want. But until next time, peace.